Hey there guys and girls, here is my review on Sonic CD, the Steam version. Oh, but hold on a second. The Steam version is closed. Yeah, there's been quite a few people that's not very happy with Sega because Sega made a new version called Sonic Origins, which is like a collection of games. And it's where because there's a new version of Sonic 1, 2, 3 and Sonic CD and a bunch of other Game Gear titles that's in Sonic Origins and the Plus version. I believe the Plus version has more of them, but yeah. It's where people are annoyed on Steam because it's where you can't actually buy the Steam version anymore. Now, back in 2019, I bought the Steam version back when it was available for just £4. That's a lot cheaper than the new version, which is Sonic Origins. Now, Sonic Origins, I did do some research yesterday, and it's where Sonic Origins and the Plus version does have some improvements, and it has a few additional content in it. So, yeah. So, I'm going to be reviewing the Steam version because that's the version I own. So yeah, now don't worry, I reckon that the knowledge I have from the Steam version also applies to Sonic Origins, but because of the additional content they've added on the Origins version, obviously it isn't going to be in the Steam version. So yeah. Oh, and another fun fact is I've already got a Let's Play of Sonic CD, and I'll put it up in the corner so you can see it in your own time. If you want to see it, that is. But yeah. Now, in the Steam version, it's where there's only two playable characters called Sonic and Tails. Amy and Knuckles only are playable in the new version, you know, the Origin version. So, yeah. And it's where I noticed when I first played Sonic CD, oh, it's more exploration based rather than just hold right to win. Because the thing with Sonic 1 and 2 especially is that you just hold right to win. But in Sonic CD you do much more than that. You have to actually find the generators and then Metal Sonic hologram and destroy those. And then you have to make sure there's a happy future on each stage in order to get the good ending rather than the bad ending, right? Or you can just go get the 7 time stones in the special stages before the end of the game. And it's where when you play a Sonic, he has super peel outs. I didn't even know this even existed. I just thought, oh yeah, he has spin dash and you can just jump onto enemies and just hit them like that. But surprise, surprise, he actually has super peel outs in this game. So I thought, oh right, that's actually quite helpful because it helps you be able to jump off ramps and jump really high and that kind of thing. And it's where the funniest thing about Sonic CD, when you play as Miles Tails Prower, his tails are deadly. I mean, look at that, I just destroyed an enemy there just by using his tails. But yeah. Now, one big problem with the Steam version that I've got is that there is collision detection problem in the special stages, but nowhere else in the game as far as I know. So I thought, it's very common for me to jump right through a UFO. And this happened quite a few times, especially when I'm trying to get the last one. It gets very frustrating very quickly. Because, you know, that was the case with Mystical Ninjas, which I've also got a Let's Play of as well. And it's where me and my sister played Mystical Ninjas together, and it's where there was collision detection in that one as well. But yeah, I don't know, it just seemed to be a retro problem, but oh well. Now then, the graphics to Sonic CD, the version I've got. Right, I will say that the visuals in this game is actually pretty nice. It is a little bit better than the Mega Drive's graphics, and I will say by far that Quadrant Quartz is the most nicest looking area in the game. Now, what's interesting about Sonic CD is the music. Now, in the Steam version, and it's also in the new version as well, is that there's a US version and the JP version. In my opinion, the JP version is better. But some of the music in the US version actually sounds better. But it's like, I think 70% of the JP version beats the USA version. So yeah. But the most surprising thing is that when you go to the past versions of any music, of any language version, it's where the past versions have identical music on both versions, which is quite surprising. So it's a little bit confusing what version you have to play in sometimes when it comes to music selection. Oh, and one of the best things about the music is that you can tell if you're actually heading towards the good ending or the bad ending. Because when you go to the future of any area, it's like the music is like more happy, and it's more evil sounding if you haven't fixed the future. So yeah, so you can tell if you're heading towards a good ending or the bad ending. But if you've got all 7 time stones, like nowhere near the end, you're guaranteed to have the good future there, just straight away. Now then, the story. The story is not very cliche. It's where basically there's a planet called Little Planet, and it's where Robotnik, also known as Dr. Eggman, but I usually call him Robotnik, right? It's where he wants to conquer it, and Little Planet appears like once every few centuries, and it's where it's your job and Sonic to go stop him. But you have to stop him much more than you think, because you have to make sure that you have to save the future the correct way. Otherwise you only temporarily stop him and get the bad ending where you have to go back round. So yeah. Oh, and also Sonic CD is the first game that has Amy in it, but she's not playable in this one. Not up until the Origins version came out, but yeah. One aspect of Sonic CD I'm a little bit sad about is that there's no Super Sonic in the game at all. And the only way to get Super Sonic is by using a cheat code, because people's already been making cheat codes for Sonic CD, because, you know, people like Super Sonic. But the thing is that when you've got all the 7 time stones, there's no enemies in the good future areas anyway. So there's that. So Super Sonic's a bit pointless when you have good future, but then again, when you reach Robotnik, you can just use Super Sonic there anyway. So I do see why Super Sonic would be relevant still. People are probably wondering, how did you know that the Origin version actually has more playable characters? And it's because someone online responded to one of my comments saying that the new version actually has Amy and Knuckles that's actually playable on the Sonic CD version. But when you have the Origins version, it's where you can play as Amy and Knuckles in Sonic 1, 2 and 3 and that sort of thing as well, so that's why. So as far as I know, the new version will have more replay value because it's got more playable characters in it. So at least Sega had to program that in, rather than charge people like £35 for collecting games. That's where some of them are already on Sonic Mega Collection on the GameCube, which my relatives actually own, by the way, and we still got it. But the most surprising thing about Sonic Mega Collection is that there's no Sonic CD on that one. So that's why I just thought, why don't we just buy Sonic CD on Steam, since it was available back in 2019. But obviously 5 years later down the line, Sega took it out for the new version, so you know. So my verdict is, if you have the 1993 CD version, keep that one. Whereas if you got the Steam version, like I do, keep that one as well. I would not spend extra cash just to get a few extra features, and that's it. So basically, if you don't own any version of Sonic 1, 2 and 3 or CD for any reason at all, like you sold those physical copies or etc., then obviously get the Origins Plus version. But you know, but for me, I'm definitely going to keep hold of the Steam version that I've got up until it actually breaks. So yeah.